Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of MagicReview.com, day 11 of 2015. Today we're looking at Mystery Solved by David Penn. Very cool box. Nothing inside it. The product is over here. First of all, let me just kind of show you what it is. Now, I can't actually operate the gimmick for you. I mean, I could if I'm missing something. First of all, I'd have to stand up and try to get the camera angles right for this little shot. I'm just using my iPhone, so I'm not going to mess with that. But this is the box that you get, and so there's one other problem why I can't operate the gimmick is because you need a piece of tape on here to make this work properly. And the kind of tape I had was the wrong kind of tape. It should just be regular kind of scotch tape, but the one I had was not quite right. So this is the box. It's pretty small. Now, they say it's half the size of a deck of cards, which is true, kind of. It's a lot thicker than a deck of cards, right? But it's about the same height. So overall, 4 stars, stone status of gem. It's a good product, but there is one problem I have with it, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But what you're getting, this is a switching device, and it says that clearly in the ad copy. And the idea is that you dump out what's inside the box into your hand, and then you've switched it out. All right. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm taking the other reason I don't have this set up is because I'm taking the gimmick out. Well, no, I'm going to leave it in there because I don't want to expose too much. But look at this. Okay, this is the folded up card gimmick that's inside the box. Now I had to make that, and it comes with the stuff you need to make it, and it took me like 3 minutes. But this is the card that's going to be the one you're switching in. I don't know if you could tell this by looking, but this card is way smaller. I'm going to take the gimmick out here. It's very, very much smaller than the gimmick that goes inside of the box. Now, they'll never, of course, compare them side by side. But just if they've been staring at this sitting on your table the whole time, and then you pick it up and dump this out, to me they don't look similar enough. But you know, anybody that does any kind of effects where you're using the Mercury fold and you're doing a switch, for example, if you do Jay Sankey's full view switch, you know that the card that's sitting on the paperclip on the table doesn't look exactly like this. But it is the same size, and that's the problem I have here is that this is a lot bigger. It's almost twice the size of this. It's very close to twice the size. And so I don't know. I mean, I haven't put this to test in real world environments, so I don't know how much of a discrepancy that is. Generally speaking, I know that those kinds of discrepancies you can often get away with in Magic. But I will say you can also use this for mentalism stuff, like you can have this be a billet instead of a card. You can have it be a dollar bill, and in those cases there is no worry, no discrepancy, because you could fold a dollar bill up any way you want. And I guess I could somehow figure out how to fold a card to look like this, but the problem with that is you're doing this fold on the fly because this is a signed card, and so there could be some. It wouldn't be very easy to, on the fly during the performance, fold the card, the signed card, up like this to make it match this perfectly. But when you're doing mentalism or dollar bill stuff, you're switching for a different reason. You're not switching to make something appear in the box. You're switching for the sake of switching. You're trying to ring in or ring out a duplicate bill or something, maybe one that you've had the serial number memorized on, or a billet switch or something like that, and you can fold a billet up any way you want. So that's the only real downside to this I see, but the illusion of the box being empty after you dump the thing out is very good. And so, you know, if what you saw in the trailer is what it looks like, and if you watch the trailer and you knew what the gimmick was, you would see that it's there. You wouldn't, they're not hiding anything, in other words. The trailer is illegitimate. It's totally legitimate. So, the other thing to be aware of, you get enough stuff to make 4 gimmicks, and so, in other words, you can make a red-backed one, a blue-backed one, or you can make one for a dollar bill, or one for like a billet or whatever. And so the thing with that is whatever one you have set up in your box, that's it. You're dedicated to that. Now, this little piece that's in here doesn't normally come out as easily as I just did a second ago when I took it out. It is normally fastened in there, but it takes 3 minutes to take this one out and put in another one. So if you're strolling from table to table and you're just all night going to do card to impossible location, then fine. But if you're wanting to do card to impossible location at this table and then like a billet switch at the next table and a dollar bill switch at the next table, can't do that, because every time you want to stop switching cards and start switching dollars, you have to go to your case and swap out the gimmicks that are in there. So the gimmicks only work for one thing. I can remove the card gimmick, put in the dollar bill gimmick, but that's it. So hopefully that's clear. As far as ad copy integrity, there I saw no issues there. They were solid. Product quality of the DVDs, well done, well shot, well lit, well mic'd. This product itself, the case and everything is very well made. And so I don't have any issues there, other than this one thing I pointed out with the size of that card versus this card. That's the only real discrepancy issue I see. But even that, it's the kind of thing where if things just been sitting on your table and you're quickly going to dump it out, do the switch, and then hand this out, put the box away, you're probably safe. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Then so ad copy, method, and product quality. I guess it covered it all. So there you go. Short review, but bottom line, I gave it 4 stars. Stone status of gem. This is the kind of thing, if you already have, one of the mystery boxes that are out there. I know Tommy Wonder had a nice one that he used, and I think he used to make them and sell them. I think there's the Kennedy one, and I think there's some other ones out there. But I'm not an expert on these things. I don't particularly use them. But if you already have one, the one you have is probably not transparent. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want the box to be transparent where I can see the card the whole time? Number one. And number two, how important is it that after I've taken the card out, that the box looks empty once I've taken the card out? So those questions, if you feel those things are important, then this is a good option. If you're looking to buy this type of card box for the first time ever, this is a good option. Just again, keep in mind the one issue with the card. But the thing I like about this that is very useful, I could see myself using this for displaying a prediction the whole time before anything happens, and then maybe in a confabulation type of routine, switching this out and ending up with this matching the prediction, or this matching the items that were named by the spectator or whatever. So I think if you're a mentalist, you can see the potential of this. Sorry, the tangent here. That reminds me, there was one other problem. There is a whole section where it's David Penn talking to Peter Turner, and it's about the possibilities of this thing for mentalists. And there are some great things you can do with it, but you're going to kind of have to figure them out on your own, because that section where they talk about it is very confusing. First thing is it assumed one thing, that you are familiar with Orville Meyer's Terville effect, which is from the Animan book and from the Jinx and everything back in the day. So if you're not familiar with that effect, everything that Peter Turner says is going to be like flying over your head. I was familiar with that effect. It's been a while since I've read it, and stuff was flying over my head. It was very confusing listening to the different things, and he was just kind of quickly talking through. Well, you could have this, and then you'd switch it out for this one, and the guy over there would be looking at this, and then that would be the trick. And I'm like, whoa, what, dude? You're blowing my mind. I don't know what you're saying here. And so maybe if I slowed it down, rewound it, and watched it a bunch of times, I might catch on. So that part was very confusing. There were a few moments in there where the effect he was trying to communicate, it was very clear. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I see that. But that, all in all, that section was very confusing, and they didn't really demo anything. They just sort of walked through the theory of how you might do it, and it wasn't very clear. So I did have a little bit of an issue with that. Anyway, sorry about the tangent there. Bottom line, if you're a mentalist, you probably will see some potential here of how you might be able to use this gimmick. And again, the idea is you do a switch by, you dump this out, what's in the contents of the box. And because my gimmick is loose, I'm not going to dump it out on frame, but I am going to do it. I just did it. I don't know if I want to show you this or not because my gimmick's not set on it right, so I'm not going to do it. Sorry about that tease there, guys. Just looking at it, it might be exposing. And that's only because I don't have my gimmick fastened in properly. And the reason I don't have it fastened in is because I need to take it in and out to show it to you guys. And the thing that fastens it in is a certain kind of tape that I don't have. Anyway, so, and it's not anything that's hard to find. I know I'm being vague here. I apologize for that. The bottom line, though, is if you like the idea of being able to have something here, dump it out, and then the box immediately looks empty and it looks like it's completely clear and see-through, this is a good product for that. Just be aware of the card thing. Have I rambled on long enough? If you got any questions, post it in the comments or in the YouTube channel. And speaking of my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to it and you like this video and listen to the random iTunes song of the moment, which is Skillet, Awake and Alive. This is one of the ones that got everybody to jump on the Skillet bandwagon. It's a good tune. I love how they blend the orchestra type music with hard rock, and then they got the lead singer and then the drummer. She also sings. So there's the dude that's the lead vocalist, and then the drummer, Jen something or other. I can't think of her last name. But those two together, they just, and the combination of that and the hard rock and the orchestra is just killer, man. What a great band. I'll put a link to that in the YouTube description below. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on day 12, which is tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace out.